All right. So welcome to the release Kubernetes 131 release team meeting. My name is Drew, and today is June 26th, and we are which week of the release are we in? I think it's like missed that part.
Looks like 6.
We are in week 6 of the release. So please be aware this is a Kubernetes community meeting, which falls under the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which could be summarized to please be excellent to each other. Thank you all. This meeting is being recorded and will be publicly posted to YouTube, so please be mindful what you say is being recorded. Let me go ahead and start to share my screen of the release team meeting notes. Oh, hold on a second. Can folks see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So okay, so let's go ahead and see if there's any open discussion items. It doesn't look like there are, so why don't we is there anything we wanted to discuss before we get into the team updates for today? Okay, let's move on. So let's start with the team updates. Enhancements, what do you got for us?
Cool. Hey, folks. So we have 58 enhancements tracked for enhancements freeze, 9 are deferred, and 4 are removed from the milestone. We originally had 5 exception requests, 4 of which were approved and are all tracked now. We're going to start code freeze outreach this week. And I just wanted to call out that we are also aware of the code freeze date change. That was just a discussion that happened yesterday. It shifted from the 10th of July to the 24th, which is, I think, a good thing because it gives folks more time to get all their changes in prior to code freeze.
All right, cool. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the enhancements team? All right, let's move on to release signal.
Hey everyone, our current status is red. We are just tracking a lot of flakes regarding API chunking, cache timeouts, and other stuff. So the CI is pretty unstable right now because there are a lot of flakes and some pre-submit jobs are also failing. Folks are actively working on that, handling the issues in the meeting notes. And on the bug triage side, we are aware that the code freeze date has changed, so we'll send out the reminders accordingly. The first reminder is usually 1 month before, so now we'll send a reminder not this week, but 1 week, like it's delayed by 2 weeks, so the whole process gets shifted. And yeah, that's the update from our side.
All right, any questions for the release signal team?
Yes, I have a question. Guillaume, are people aware of these flakes?
Yeah.
Is there activity of them? Okay. If you
Yeah.
need any help with, reaching out,
Right.
let's. Yep.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, let's move forward to the docs team.
Hi everyone. I am Princess from the docs lead. So the status of docs is currently yellow because we have our docs freeze coming up tomorrow, basically. Yeah, so the branch sync for this week has been merged, and we've also sent multiple reminders to KEP owners to raise the the placeholder PRs, but unfortunately, we don't have a lot of that coming in. So for the numbers, currently we have 19 KEP owners who have not raised any placeholder PRs, and about 5 that already have docs, and just 24 draft PRs up. So I'm hoping that before the end of today or before the end of tomorrow, a lot more people will raise those draft PRs. So fingers crossed on that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Docs team. Does anybody have any questions or comments for the Docs team? All right, release notes team.
So, hey, I will go with the release notes update. Like I have created the version alpha.2 PR yesterday, and it's in review now. And like there were some YAML linting errors for the alpha.1 PR. Amit is probably creating a new tool to deal with that. So hopefully we will be having the YAML linting tool soon. So that's it.
All right. Any feedback for the release notes team? All right, let's check in with the comms team.
Everyone. Our status is currently green. We have completed the initial major teams outreach towards the end of last week, and we are currently working on the mid-cycle block. We have reached out to CAP owners who should be included in the block, and we are hoping to get responses by this Friday. And we currently have 8 CAPs with opt-in for the release block, and we are doing follow-ups and doing reminders for the remaining CAPs. That's our updates.
Awesome, thanks. Does anybody have any questions for the comms? All right, release branch management.
Hi everyone. So yes, current status is green as Alpha 3 is scheduled for 2nd July. So yeah, I will just keep watching the release signal team till then. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
Any questions for release management? All right, let's check in with our emeritus advisor.
I don't think Priyanka is in the call, but yeah, I can bring her update from earlier today. So yeah, the first retrospective for 131 is coming up like soon. So if you have any comments, any suggestions, any feedback on the process, please add them in the linked document. And you can also expect the mid-cycle shadow survey coming next week. Please fill it in. It's useful feedback for the release team and the way the process is structured. So, the better feedback that we get, the better the process becomes, and the experience of future members will be. And yeah, that's it from Priyanka. Now, from my update, yesterday there was the main thing I want to talk about is about the code freeze. So initially, code freeze was set for July the 10th, but there was a thread in SIG release where SIG leads came in and said, very rightfully so, that this is actually a very short development time and then a very huge gap between code freeze and test freeze. So after the discussion in the thread, we have decided to move the code freeze to 2 weeks later. That is July the 24th. I have a PR open. I still want to see if there's any more updates that we need to do. For one, I imagine we might want to have a beta one, perhaps in this gap, and not just have a beta 0 very far from the code freeze and then the RC0 1 week after. But this is something that we'll be discussing in the PR and with Priyanka. And also, I will share a message with Dev, Kubernetes, and also the release team mailing list so that people are aware and it's not a surprise to everyone. And that's it from my side.
All right, thanks, Angelos. Is there any questions for the emeritus advisor update or the release lead update?
Abhi?
Hi, yes. So I just wanted to check in on with the date change. Should we We on comms have some dates that align with code freeze, specifically the mid-cycle blog. So I was thinking we could push it back. It's currently set to be out July 11th, but I think with things being a little bit further out and with the holiday next week, it makes a little bit more sense to either push it back 1 week or push it back the full 2 weeks to go out with the code free to align closer to code freeze. I just was wondering if there was anyone had any thoughts or it makes this blog closer to the actual release, so maybe there's a little less early awareness from the community, but I think it will help get better responses and help go through the review cycle easier if we do push it back at least a week. I just was wondering if anyone here had thoughts on that.
Right, so the mid-cycle blog, if it includes like deprecation notices and all that, it's best if we have it out as soon as possible. Like, let's not have it, like 2 or 3 or 4 weeks before the release, so that people are aware. So the sooner the better, honestly. If you feel like there is, too much pressure on the team along with the holidays, then do you think next week or the week of code freeze would be more suitable? Well, in 1 week or in 2 weeks from now, do you think it would be suitable to have the blog?
Sorry,
I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, just to jump in briefly before you reply. In the past, when we led comms, part of the reason that we waited until code freeze is because we weren't sure all of these deprecations and removals would land. So we didn't want to like publish a change that may fall off if the team doesn't get the KEP out. Just to include that as a data point.
Yeah, I think that's a valid point. So I think to kind of maybe split the difference is maybe push it by a week. And I can also check in with the SIG Docs blogs folks to see how they feel about it, since they also would have a kind of thoughts around what's happened in the past, more historical information. So I think probably a week would be good. 2 weeks might be pushing it because then we're not out early enough from the release. But close enough to the code freeze date that we might not have anything fall off that we then publish that we had already published about. So yeah, so I just wanted to raise it, and I'll be reaching out to kind of figure out what the best date is. But I do think July 11th might be a little bit too early for us in relation to when the code freeze now is. So yeah,
Okay.
if you have any thoughts, please reach out.
I think that makes sense. I think that 1 week would be more than fine. But yeah, let's discuss more about it offline. Yeah.
All right, good discussion. Do we have an update from SIG scalability? It looks like our status is green.
Yeah, they added their update on the document earlier. Yep.
All right. Okay, well that concludes the team updates. Before I stop the recording, is there anything that we wanted to discuss on the recording before I conclude it? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. Goodbye, YouTube.